What's going on, Subi lovers? So not too long ago, earlier this year, I reviewed this. This is a VIP model resin version of a Subaru Impreza WRC, and it had some of the worst wheels I've ever seen in this hobby. So these are 3D printed wheels because theirs were just miserable. This also has weird windows. They're stuck on the outside of the body, and then also the livery. It doesn't really match the photographs. The actual casting isn't matching the photographs of this particular car from this particular race of Portugal. Anywho, luckily I pre-ordered this before I even bought the VIP model, and I forgot I even pre-ordered it. But my local dealer, did show me that I pre-ordered it off his Facebook, and here we are. So I used to own this generation of Impreza as a wagon, so I kind of have a soft spot for it. And this is well, let's see what it says on here. So first, I've never reviewed this brand before. I think it's pretty new. HJ64, I'm assuming, is the brand of this thing. I don't know why I can't focus, but it says HJ Mini Car Project on the left side. There you go. And then we have, oh, is this Ignition Model? Is it distributor? I don't know. I don't know where that QR will go. Oh, this is a Hobby Japan. Duh. Never mind. I've reviewed plenty of Hobby Japans. I guess they just have new packaging. What are they thinking, though? It doesn't actually say Hobby Japan on the front of this thing. So people just assume this is a brand called HJ64, right? Wouldn't it make sense to have your brand on the front of a product? I mean, I guess you'll figure it out eventually, or maybe some people won't even know. And it actually says markmodels.jp. So is that the parent company? It's very confusing. There's a lot of different things going on here. Anyways, at least it tells you this. This is the number 4 car, and it won the Monte Carlo Rally in 1997. So there you go. So there's really not much else to talk about. I mean, all these rally cars, I think since the 1990s, are pretty much 2-liter inline 4s turbocharged and making somewhere around 300 horsepower. Hobby Japan. Alright, new packaging. There's actually no backing card here, which I'm fine with. I think they do that for tension, but to me it's just kind of a waste of cardboard that you have to pay for. So this case, yeah, it's holding. There's 3 friction tabs here. That's why. Those 3 friction things, so that's good. This 2 antennas, so I am not going to take this off the base. It's too dangerous. So these are all photos from that rally. It literally says Monte Carlo here, so there we go. And I thought it was going to have 555 like numbers, but it actually has this 555 graphic instead, and so obviously that's matching up nicely, so that's good. Alright, let's go to this top view here. The number 4 showing up. You can pause, see if all the sponsorship is there. Looks pretty good. I guess the cars before the race, maybe? They weren't even assigned their numbers or anything yet. One thing I will say, these are clearly orange taillights. Alright, these are all white, so that's definitely off. It says P2 WRC, so it must be this car. This must be the P3 WRC, and that license plate is there, so that's nice. And just one last photo I found here from the rally. Hard to focus between 2 distances, so that's as good as it's going to get. Alright, well, let me get this phone up on my tuna can. So the base is going to always get in the way. It always hits the tabletop. Hopefully it won't now. So we do have a metallic blue. Obviously looks pretty good, but unfortunately these are all decals. You can see the edge of this graphic here, so that's not good. But well, I might be mistaken. I can clearly see an edge here, but I don't see an edge on this. This could be a tampo print. This might be as well. We'll have to see what the rest of the model does. So far I don't see any air pockets, except right here at the door, right? So this is clearly a decal because it's literally spanning the gap of the door, I think. But yeah, the graphics do seem to match those photographs pretty well. So we have a fuel filler here, pretty decent panel gaps. Let's go with this back wheel for a change. Oh wow, I didn't expect there would be printing on the spokes. I can't make it out. I think it's supposed to say Pro Drive. And then you can see there's a center cap that's black, or that's the axle itself probably. And then I guess it's a 5-lug nut wheel. Alright, and then there's a disc brake back there. I don't see a caliper, but... And then the tires, even though this is a rally car, they don't look like truck tires, so I think it looks good. If you look, pause, rewind back to those photographs, those tires look like street tires. You know, they don't have big side blocks. Still trying to read the spoke text here. It does say Pro Drive, and I don't know about the left side, what that's supposed to say. It almost looks like a Jeep upside down, but... Alright, so that's nice. So we have a raised reflector here, painted orange. And then there's no mirror on this side of this car, so that's interesting. The raised molding, painted black, looks good. Then nice, Hobby Japan, very good. Clear turn signals. And then we have the clear headlights as expected. But there's depth behind those headlights. There's a light bucket. You can actually see this one from this angle better. The striations, it looks like a light bulb back there. It looks like there's some blue in there. Let's go this way. Well, anyways, it's a little gappy right here, but it's fine. So that license plate is here as well. Whoa, I think this is a photoized piece of metal. Let me get a flashlight and see if there's anything behind that grill. It's definitely passing air. I see some silver back there, so that's nice. That bottom grill is a photoized piece of metal. The Subaru logo is very shiny. I think it's a foil sticker. The STI is printed nicely on these fog lamp covers. So very nice front end. What's going on here? That's pretty deep. That's a deep vent. I don't know if there's any paint in there. It's just so dark. It's just depth. There's no paint. It's just deep. So there's some chrome like hood latches. And then again, this is clearly a decal. You can just see the border of it. Right, but here we have some recesses and some black paint. There's also recesses here for the hood. I thought that was paint at first, but maybe that's actually, no, it's just deep and painted black. I thought for a second it was going all the way through. The emergency cutoff there is a decal. We got some bumps painted black for the wiper fluid. Wiper blades are molded in, painted black, as well as the windshield blackout decal up top. There's a base to the antenna. The antenna is, it sounded like plastic, so be mindful, that'll snap if you drop this model. There's some sort of radome or something, some sort of antenna bud. That's the best way I'll describe it today. Is the Monte Carlo badge here, some really thin defroster lines so you can still see into the interior, so that's fine. And we'll try to finish up this side here first. Yeah, the decal's spanning the door gap, so that's not great. Oh, this is a decal because you can see the bubble there. Yeah, what about here? So I do think like all these are decals. I don't think there's tampo printing going on. Some extra rubber flash here. You could probably take it off and, you know, maybe flip the tire around to fix that. Or wait a second, it's just, maybe the wheel's missing plastic. Come on, Hobby Japan. Some clown clipped this off the molding tree. Much too much. So, yeah, it's not a round wheel anymore. It's literally got a gouge missing. I guess the only save is the fact it's a rally car. So I guess that hit a rock, and that's why that wheel is missing a chunk out of it. Door handle detail, I didn't even catch that before. It is molded nicely. And then this mirror on this side is like a bullet mirror. It does look like the photographs, and it's got a reflective sticker as well. Alright, we got, well, the dashboard is black. There's a fire extinguisher there on the floor. There's the shifter. The steering column has the stalks for the, wiper blades and the turn signals. And then the steering wheel itself has some air passing through the spokes. Let's get a flashlight in here. I don't see anything in the instrument cluster. No, it's just black plastic. The seat here is just, oh, nice. All right, we got some seat belts. At least half of a seat belt. It's like a seat belt, maybe. And then it's clearly a gutted race interior. And this roll cage is pretty good. The tubing is very thin. And, oh wow, it's going down to the floor there, but up to the roof here. So there's a double bracing there in the back. No rear seats, of course. Maybe that's the fuel box there in the middle with the concave domes. Let's see what else we can see. The seats are staggered in their distance. The driver's seat is much closer. The passenger seat is pushed back quite a bit. Alright. And I'm pretty sure this is not a standard dashboard because there's an instrument binnacle here for the passenger or the navigator. The code, not code driver because he's not driving, but he's the guy telling the instructions, go left, go right. I'm wondering if there's anything in that binnacle. Hold on. No, it's just molded detail. So a lot of molded detail. I guess they put the color onto that fire extinguisher, but in the seat belts. I do wish there was maybe some gauges in that instrument cluster, but I guess it's better to have the decals on the outside than the inside. Alright, well, all in all, not too bad. I guess the only major problem... Oh, wait, I gotta finish the back. I already forgot. We already mentioned that there's no orange in these rear lamps, but there should be. But it's nice that there's some bumps back there behind the plastic, so they look like they're light bulbs. The decal there again, and this one has some chrome-looking trunk latches, but they're clearly not at the same height. They're supposed to be down here. And yeah, so that one's just too high up. The license plate's good again. Yeah, Pirelli's alright there. Maybe there's a toe hook or something down here. Toe hook spot. Alright, there's a rear view mirror I'm noticing through the back glass. And this exhaust tip, well, that's not very good, is it? It doesn't look like a tube. It looks like just it's not even cut smoothly. It's kind of gnarly. So not the greatest there. At least it's painted silver on the outside and it's just black in the middle. Some undercarriage detail, as you can see, but okay, I'm not gonna take it off the base. Alright, well, yeah, it's just a real shame that someone at the factory took a giant chunk out of that wheel. But I'm too lazy. I don't want to print wheels again. I've had enough of that. This is just the way it's going to be. At least it didn't cost as much as that VIP resin model. So you can compare these two models. They're not quite identical Imprezas, but I believe they're the same chassis style. But the rear wings are different, the hood it's a little bit different, and this one has the intake on the top roof there. So I think Hobby Japan did a great job actually with this thing. I mean, why doesn't this resin model have antennae? That's a huge oversight. At least it's got the one mirror and no mirror over there. And it definitely has a better interior, more detail. But look at these defroster lines. You can't even see through the rear window, so that's poorly done. Hobby Japan did it better. I don't think they should be on any models, because you can't really see them on real cars anyways. Let me get a lower angle for you guys. And even this VIP the taillights don't have the orange. But I do believe this casting from VIP is maybe a street car. And maybe the street cars had clear, you know, taillights like that. Alright, well, let's get this overpriced thing out of here. And I got a couple CM's models here. So here's a CM's doesn't write anything at the bottom. This is a 1995 Impreza. It's not a metallic blue, it's just like a dark blue. And then this is a Legacy, if I had to guess. It's 1993. Yeah, that's definitely not an Impreza. This must be a Legacy. So these two are by CM's, which is sadly a company that hasn't made models in a long time. They're long gone. They're out of business. You gotta go eBay and pay a lot. But what I like about CM's is these are all tampo printed. This paint, you know, these graphics are paint. They're not decals, so there's no weird air pockets behind the gaps. I think that mud flap is scraping. Yeah, so for some reason this has really low mud flaps. It's driving me nuts. I gotta get that out of there. Well, just like NO64 and Tarmac Works, I'm gonna complain about the decals. The air pockets behind the decals is not cool. And if other brands, much cheaper brands, can do tampo printing all over a car, you know, like Hot Wheels, or the old CMs, Mini GT, you know, why is it these expensive brands are putting on decals? So please, any other reviewers, start complaining about this, because those decals are gonna either crack off, or those bubbles at least are gonna crack. Right? It's not good for a collectible product to have decals unless they're under a clear coat, which would never happen on a model that costs under $30. It just wouldn't happen, I don't think. Very rare. Okay, so that's it. Otherwise, not bad. Not bad. If you like just a street version, you won't have this decal problem at all. So you can obviously get street versions of this. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next Subaru video.